Well, hello again. My name is Shimeka Williams, and I am the owner of Willful Media Group. And what I do is I create online content. I'm one of those people who likes to do pretty much everything online. And the content that I create is built around three core philosophies. The first one is the majority of employees hate their jobs. And this is not me saying that. This is from the recent Gallup poll that says about 70% of U.S. employees are not happy with their jobs. So that's the first philosophy. The second philosophy that I have is that because these people are not very happy with their jobs, they tend to go out and seek entrepreneurship opportunities. However, when they go out to do this, they take their employee mindset with them. So they tend to think like employees, but they're trying to be or working to be entrepreneurs. And last but not least, the philosophy that I have is that these people need to earn income because they need to be able to replace their full-time income so that they can escape cubicle captivity. So my goal is to help 1,000 people escape cubicle captivity. And what I do, the content that I create, the primary form of content, is a podcast, and it's called Escaping Cubicle Captivity. I interview entrepreneurs from all around the country, all around the world, who have successfully escaped the cubicle. They share their stories, they share their strategies with me and my audience. I have an international podcast. It's downloaded in several countries. 85% of my listeners are in the U.S., with China being the second, followed by Australia and Canada, and then a lot of other smaller downloads from other countries. So that's the primary form of content that I create. At this time, that content that I create is free. I do have the option to monetize it in some way, shape, or form if I chose to. I could sell the content or sell the podcast. I could put some type of payment gate around them. I could sell sponsorship ads or things of that nature, but at this time, that's not something that I'm looking to do. The other form of content that I create are other online mediums. I do videos. I have workbooks, guides, and things of that nature that I also offer for free to my community. And the reason why I'm offering all of these things free at this time is because I'm working to build trust with my audience, and I'm working to grow that relationship and grow that loyal fan base. Because of course, eventually I do want to be able to sell stuff to them. And right now, my primary source of revenue, or the main source of revenue that I am currently focused on, is a t-shirt line. I do have t-shirts that I sell and that are available for sale. And while that's not designed to be the primary source of income, it is a source of income that's low management. In a way, it allows me to earn more of a passive form of income so that I can focus on other areas of my business. Moving forward, the goal is to curate the information that I get from my guests, from my audience, find out what their needs are so that I can create online content to help them reach their goals, which also, of course, is helping me reach my goal because I too want to escape the cubicle. And so that will be me working with them to find out what they need and creating online content in the form of courses that will help them. And one of the things that I like about creating online courses is, one, I do like to teach. So this does allow me to utilize that particular desire and skill set. But two, Forbes estimated that the online course industry would earn $107 billion in 2015. So it's definitely a large market. And there are a lot of people who pay to learn what you know. And so my goal is to be able to learn and teach what I know to others. And so the online courses will be a focal point for me moving forward in terms of the products that I will be creating and sources of revenue. I will also be working to create ebooks, which is another form of online content that people can purchase, along with a membership site, which would be another source of income that would be more on a recurring basis where people will pay a monthly fee to be able to have access to the content that is available within my website. So right now, I am in the early stages of preparing to launch a course in the first quarter of 2016. So that's going to be my main focus for the immediate future. And I'm just very excited about the opportunity to be able to connect and work with people who have similar goals and aspirations as myself. And this is one of my shirts that I am wearing here, Design the Life You Want. I truly believe that you have an opportunity to design the life that you want. So my goal is to help encourage and inspire people to do just that. So does anyone have any questions? Okay, Laura?
What are some specific topics that you would offer to people who are trying to escape the cubicle? What would be their first step that you would recommend?
I think it all starts with thinking and how you think about yourself and what it is you're working on. Probably for me, the biggest thing, and it doesn't apply to everyone, but I think it's a big deal when you are a salaried employee, that you really understand and value your time. The more hours you give to your boss, really the less you make per hour. You pay me for 40, I will give you 40. And after that, I need to go home and do my business. And so I think that's the first thing you have to realize, is that you do your due diligence when it comes to your employer. But when it comes to taking care of your personal business, you have to treat it as if it is just as important as your job. And it cannot be secondary. It is secondary in some ways because you do have to earn that income, but it cannot be secondary to the fact that you're going to work their job, work on their business nights and weekends, which a lot of my coworkers do, and you don't work on building your business because you don't make any extra money by working nights and weekends if you're a salaried employee. I don't get paid overtime, and I don't work for free. So that's the first thing that I would tell anybody if you are working to escape the cubicle. Yes.
How many subscribers do you have to your podcast?
iTunes does not release a lot of that information to you in terms of being very specific about that. I can tell you that right now I average just over 1,000 downloads per month. So I have been seeing a lot of growth in that area within the past few months. I recently changed the name of the podcast to Escaping Cubicle Captivity, mainly because it really spoke more to exactly what it is that I want to get across to you. Yes.
How long has the podcast been active?
I started it in April.
How often do you post a new podcast?
I release new episodes every Monday and every Wednesday. Monday's episodes are interview episodes where I interview entrepreneurs like Zach and quite a few members of 1004. And on Wednesdays, I do solo episodes where I talk about different topics. For example, this week's episode was how to bounce back from a knockout, inspired by the Ronda Rousey fight. Yes.
What do you currently do?
I work in insurance.
Sales or
Probably more so on the collection side.
okay.
Yeah. Oh,
So, you mentioned that your main way of making money presently is selling T-shirts, and you said that's passive. I'm curious how you've automated that, if it isn't truly passive. If it is truly passive, like you say.
Well, what I've done is, one, I I give the design creations to someone. They create the designs for me, and I use a T-shirt fulfillment company. So I upload my design. I give some specific instructions about what color shirts I want it to be sold on, and when someone goes and orders a shirt, they take care of the payment. They actually send out the T-shirt, and then they pay me my portion of it after that's done. I currently have it focused on T-shirts and cell phone cases, but I am working to actually shift to a different company that has a wider variety of products available, so that the designs can be placed on bags, mugs, and a wide variety of apparel, because they have a much more diverse catalog of apparel that the designs can be placed on. Yes.
Talking about your T-shirt income, how is the T-shirt sales this time?
T-shirt sales are very low at this time. They are much lower than I hoped, but I also have to take full responsibility that I have to do a better job of marketing them, and I also have to do a better job of making sure that when I do market them, especially from a visual standpoint, that they look pretty. And I have to realize that people like pretty pictures. And so one of the things that I've done, because I do a lot of these things on my own, but when I do take photos, I want to make sure that they do look more appealing and that I do have certain accessories and different things to kind of match and make for a nice picture. So that's one of the things that I will be focusing on as I transition, is to make sure I have everything look more appealing. But also what I'm doing is, what I didn't have is I didn't have the t-shirt business on an independent website. I had it on a page from my website. So I'm shifting it to its own separate website so that it's there and people can just go directly there. You don't get distracted by the fact that when you come to my website, the first thing you see is podcasts. So one, I am separating that out so that people can just find it independent of finding my website, which has all of so much other content on it. So I take full responsibility that I got to put a lot more focus on making sure that I market it more. But I do get sales, they kind of come in, one here, one there. But I also realize that the company doesn't have as much variety as I would desire. So now maybe people who aren't into t-shirts, they'll have options to purchase other merchandise if they still want to support me.
Is there a number for t-shirt selling for like last month, or what number you want to reach in the sell t-shirt selling?
You know what, I don't have a goal, but that's something that I do need to set. Because again, it's a matter, I'm really in that literally transition phase of relaunching it. So that's something that I want to set. I would be happy to do, really 10 shirts in a month. I haven't gotten there yet. I would be happy just to get to that starting point.
How many t-shirts you sell this month or last month?
I think I may be at about 2 right now.
When you say selling a t-shirt, are you speaking about a specific individual t-shirt or a t-shirt design? Like I sold 100 to this group over here of this design?
No, an individual t-shirt. The person can go up there, they can order just one t-shirt. Somebody inside a question?
Yeah, I was going to ask, have you ever thought about bridging into e-commerce that would allow you to have more control over the process?
I have. And because the t-shirt business isn't intended to be the main focal point, I've decided not to go that route. I did a lot of research and spent a lot of time researching that, and I have to, what I realized is that there is a lot that I have to consider, from one, the different softwares talking to each other, collecting the money, the security of the website itself. And so that would become a lot of extra work. And again, I want this t-shirt business to be a little bit more passive once I get it up and going. Not that I won't have to continue to market it and promote it, but I don't want to have to be concerned about, okay, is someone trying to hack into my system and take all the credit card information. So with me using another company to fulfill the orders, they take on that responsibility, they take on all the shipping and all of those things.
You said your goal was to get 1,000 people to escape their current job. Do you have any numbers towards that, of how many people have, or how many people are in the process of using the steps and interviews that you provided to galvanize them to do that?
I have had one person tell me privately that she has an end date for December. And so she hasn't made it very public to friends, but she did privately tell me that she has an end date set. But that's the one person that has mentioned that. A lot of people are similar to me, they're on that journey. So I think that's where there's a lot of, easy for us to build that bond, because I'm someone who is juggling, working full time, having a family, and working on a business. So you develop a bond with people because they know I'm along on that journey with them. But I do have that one person that hopefully, she'll be on the podcast early next year. As soon as she quits, I'm like, you have to come on the show, because that's who I interview, people who have actually quit their jobs and moved on to entrepreneurship.
Great job, thank you.
Thank you.